it's been a while since we've talked to Catherine, isn't it? Like, this always, but after this section, the next time you see Catherine, you're always like, wow, I've been through some shit, and I think I need to unpack it here. Like, I felt like this character needed to know what I'd been through. And instead, it's always like, oh, good, we're here.
She's not really the type of person to unpack your feelings to, though. I can't imagine
It's
her,
true.
like, opening a bottle of wine. Let's chat about our day. Like, she does not seem the type.
Hope the Ark made it here in one piece.
No.
No, it's pretty clear that everyone kind of disliked her. Oh, you brought up, like, that you got the impression that she was dating Imogen. I also got that impression. Like, a couple episodes ago you mentioned that. Or that, like, she liked Imogen or something. I also got that impression.
Yeah, she says, oh no, she was my, she was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I watched
She could have been saying best friend, though. I don't know. I guess you just assume because it's a video game that there's going to be romance involved. But she might have just been saying she was my only friend on the base.
I watched the live action series they did as a companion to this, and super not dating, and Imogen kind of hates the hell out of Catherine.
Live action companion series?
Well, that's...
What?
Yeah, you didn't know about
actually
it?
exactly what I was going to say. Is that I think you guys are taking, you guys went the complete opposite way from me on that one. I was like,
me too.
Catherine was about to say they're friends, but she realized Imogen didn't actually consider them friends. Sure, so she kind of mends it to the lame, well, she didn't hate me, so by my standards, that's a friend.
No, I thought that was... I actually had a slightly different read on that, too. I thought it was just the nicest thing she could find to say, where it's like, Imogen was... She's nice. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing I can say about her.
The only reason to think that there was any romance there at all is just because I was sniffing for video game tropes. Like, this is you just expect that in the context of a story. Any story is somebody's dating somebody else, somebody's in love. Yeah. And when you see two people and they hint at a relationship that isn't explained, it's usually some kind of romance or hidden feeling or a crush of some sort.
This reminded me of Doom 3, where it's like we're in a crazy, insane place, and yet we have like, welcome to the facility. This is what this facility is and how it operates. Like, and anyone who is there should probably already know this.
I love the idea of like going into work and just like there's a TV screen always playing a, commercial for the place where you work, talking about what you do there.
Actually, I work for a radio station, and we keep like how-to stuff for people everywhere, and we have like. I mean, not as like, we don't have like graphics like, welcome to the thing, this is how you run a radio station, but we have a lot of like how-to stuff. So if an idiot walks in and something bad happens, they have something that they can like, oh, yes, okay, this is how I get the computer back running, that kind of thing. So it's not totally crazy.
Okay, I know we're doing this over vent, but for some reason when Mumble said an idiot walks in, I felt her eyes on me.
Yeah.
This looks like it's
something wrong with the radio. It's like the signal is, I don't know, it's not quite right. Like there's something wrong with it.
Don't you fucking dare, Rutskarn.
Uh-oh.
Our time together is a confusing patchwork of moments to me.
Uh-oh, Scadios.
What day?
It's May 11th, 2104, 3:30 a.m., but I don't remember when we started.
Hey, Catherine. I found Catherine.
Are you suggesting we keep it down here? Doesn't that defeat the
And
whole
she's
purpose?
not that great.
Eternity among the stars, remember?
The people inside the Ark won't know the difference. We can just
It's
keep
interesting
it
to hear
down
Catherine
here,
getting
and we
a little
don't
more
have to risk
emotional.
The Ark being shot through 5,000 meters of broken barrel, and then push through another 100,000 meters of a dust-filled atmosphere.
Because she's very calm throughout this game, and part of that's, part of that's her personality, is that she's just a very calm person, but part of it's also that, like, she has nothing to like, she doesn't have a whole lot of stimulus.
We can launch it later.
No, that wasn't the deal. We needed to save them.
I always thought they needed to deal with her being turned off more.
It's a fucking
she doesn't really respond to being turned off, and you know, if I knew I was going to be turned off and then stuffed into the back pocket of a walking corpse robot man who has to walk through nightmarish monsters trying to kill him, I'd be a little bit more worried every time I got unplugged, and she's pretty chill with it.
Which again is like
Make
part of the
sure
like,
that they
I'm not
knew what
sure
they were
she
doing.
fully understands there are monsters, or that it is actually super dangerous, or that anything happened with the WoW at all. As far as she knows, Johan Ross wasn't even real or alive or anything. We didn't just meet the WoW. We just waltzed over here and everything was fine.
I officially do not buy any implication that this is just an accident. Look at this woman. That's not
There's
an
a
accident.
wrench.
Catherine,
Oh yeah, she got fucked.
Holy, that wrench is
you.
bent, isn't it? Or am I
you had an
crazy?
accident.
Yeah, you don't accidentally hit somebody with the wrench so
Yeah.
hard that the wrench
If you
bends.
hit someone, if you hit someone on the head
I don't know
hard
if that's
enough with
Ben
the
or
wrench,
not.
it's gonna
Yeah,
at
it's not
least
really
leave
bent.
some like. Where's the brain piece? I mean, I would not know anything about that. About what would happen to a wrench if you hit someone with it. Not me.
No, naturally. Of course not.
No.
No, but Catherine
No.
knows about the WoW, so... I mean, our Catherine, not dead Catherine. Because when the dumb bat gets taken over, she's like, "Oh man, the WoW got it," and sad face.
This is another game with
They
two
didn't wanna whisper onto the yard.
Catherines.
Thought it might not
Whoa.
make it to the atmosphere.
Oh,
Blowing my
damn,
mind.
it's
Although in this one of them is they're
I
not
feel like
both
this
trying
game
to
is
date
somewhat
you.
less sexy than the other Catherine.
Just a little less. Not very much, Ritzcar. Not enough to notice.
We're gonna tell the robot Catherine, look, your name starts with a K now, just so we're clear, so we can tell the two Catherines apart.
Well, there's also the fact that the other Catherine does not have brains,
Catherine,
and this Catherine doesn't have any Oh, wait.
Trusted me.
One has a brain and
This
one
seems
has
like
a body. This is
Yeah, this
this
seems like
is
a problem we
classic.
can solve.
Did you have friends?
I mean, we have literally all the tools we would need to solve this problem,
there
so...
was some. Jesse, Sean.
You just like stick the Omni tool inside your skull cavity.
Like a real one, some incredible weapon.
I'll be your friend.
There, can you move your arms now,
I
Catherine?
feel even worse.
Here, let me just drop some WoW juice on you.
Where's the damn pin?
Yeah, okay. Great,
you gotta
I'm glad
take
we
the
got that
battery out.
working. Now, I'm gonna need you to fix all these
No, I did
problems
that.
while I sit around doing fuck all.
You gotta take the battery out and move the payload first, and then you put it in there
Also-
to turn the machine
Also,
on.
Catherine,
Oh.
could you go out and
Shit.
fight a monster? Okay, why? I don't know, it feels right. Feels fair. I can tell you
It's in
where
the
to find
corner.
any number of monsters.
Simon picks up her body. He's like, "My name's Catherine. I always tell Simon what to do." Blah blah blah. And then Catherine's like, "What are you doing?" Nothing.
Alright, here we go.
We burn, we burn. If we're lucky. We just gave humanity a new chance, a whole new
Hey, Catherine, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. He's smacking the hand against the Omni tool.
We have thousands of years.
One hell of a gamble, though.
This was never about certainty. It's about hope.
Wait, crap. Damn it.
You can't carry them both.
Why not? Does this thing not have pockets?
You only have two hands.
All right, I changed my mind.
Now that
Cancer's
is a
not the
design
idiot.
flaw we could have solved with being a fucking
Definitely
robot.
Josh.
We gotta get the WoW on this. I need like 18 hands.
How is this the hardest puzzle for you, Joshua? It's just carrying stuff and putting it in the thing.
Can we put
The
Catherine
red
in?
rocket bed.
I mean, other Catherine?
Just shove her body in there and launch it into space. So that
You're
the
going
whole
to
time
space,
you're
Catherine,
inside,
whether you like it or not.
so that
Actually,
once you get into
it's-
the arc with her, you're like, do you realize that this simulation is running just a few inches from your decomposing physical form forever?
You know, Catherine, I somehow don't think would be terribly miffed about
Aerodynamic?
that.
Oh.
Well, probably not that either.
Just like tie Catherine to the back of the rocket like a tin can.
Oh my
Guns of
god.
any size. Oh, here we go.
Little phallic, but you know
Like
what?
Dr.
We'll deal with it.
Strangelove. Oh, super.
I like you're just taking the battery on principle. This could come in handy later.
Oh shit, I'm running low on power. How can I, you just like, start trying to eat the battery through your visor?
So much easier when I had a mouth. All right, cool.
Now what?
Now we just need to get the shell into the gun and then kaboom.
Aren't you forgetting something?
A kaboom is
this
not
on
the
board
word
the
I would really
Don't
want
need
to
to make another
use
scan?
for this
Project
particular
Wood. You
gun
don't operate
and
something
this
like you
particular
made a spacecraft with
launch.
your bare hands.
More like,
You mean like back at Omicron?
and then you're in
Yes,
space.
and we can use it to transfer you to the Ark while operating the gun. 2 birds and all that. Now, take the Omnitool and plug it in next
Now,
to the
who
seat and I'll
built
guide
a
you through
brain
the final
scanner
steps.
into the probe launcher? This is what I want to know.
They imply it's a standard issue thing for neural controls. I don't
Yeah.
know why it's in this thing, really. Like we were saying in several episodes ago, like everything here is designed to be standard issue. Like the only time people actually started doing uploads of brains was when Catherine started messing with it. The rest of the time, it's just the standard interface for plugging your
It was
brain
actually the
into
WoW.
something.
And this was elaborated on in the transmission series, the live action thing I mentioned, but the WoW was the one who initially created a prototype Ark. Imogen Reed found it, and Catherine used it as the basis to create the Ark, which Reed thought was a terrible idea because it wouldn't actually really be them in the Ark, it would be copies of them. And then
I don't
she
know,
got
you could-
exiled to Lambda or something.
If you could put
I
my
do
brain in
it.
a robot body that would live forever, you could just kill Meat Me. I don't care.
That's so inassertive.
Well, I was gonna do that anyway, so.
I still want to live, but only so I can fight it to the death. Put it in a robot body so I can fight it to see who's the better one.
Yeah, I don't-
I
I don't
would
some
literally
fatal
kill
flaw.
and then eat flesh you.
Because you know, like, so you very slowly, confidently build this robot body that resembles you in every other capacity, except then you loosen the
fell to my
bolts
death.
in the.
Oh, I can explore this place down here.
I don't want to put my brain in a robot body that was slowly built over several months, though. I think I was implying more of like a off-the-shelf prefab robot body.
I wouldn't accept any robot
so
body
picky.
that couldn't defeat my physical form.
I'm
Like
a
that would
robot
be its
body
rite of
Yeah.
passage. Like,
See?
okay, here you are in the world, but now you gotta
understands.
fight. Yeah, you gotta fight for your survival,
Yes.
robot me.
Good, finally, someone who gets it.
You're gonna put me in a Roomba.
We're totally gonna put you in a
Make it
fucking
fight for its-
Roomba.
Fight for
With
its
like a
life.
knife and duct tape to it. It just comes at you with a knife and you're like, ow! And you like fall over and like Roomba wins.
No, I'm just picturing Roomba me like running and hiding in a corner while I take a hammer to it. It's like this is a waste of hundreds of millions of dollars.
I
No, I
like
love
I
this
like Roomba stabbing you in the fucking ankle and then you just giving up. That's way
I like
better.
the idea of downloading a human intelligence into a Roomba, and then you just keep them around to vacuum your floor.
You guys are terrible people.
This incredibly creative intelligence. This creative intelligence, and it just sits in the closet all the time until once a week it gets let out, and it's and it just has to vacuum the floor and go back in.
decided
Oh,
to
I'm
jump down
definitely
here,
not
Josh.
supposed to be down here, you guys. Oh no. Oh god. What? Oh shit.
God damn it,
I'm not supposed
Josh.
to be anywhere near here.
Well, why don't you just jump on Ross's head, Josh?
He's dead, I
Josh,
think.
just do whatever you gotta do to make the robot sex noise to stop, please.
Oh no, Josh.
Yeah, save an exit.
Shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
save an exit the game.
Oh no.
No, don't save and exit.
Oh, how does this always happen, Josh? How does this
Exit.
always...
Just exit. No. Yeah. Just
Wait,
exit.
it's a checkpoint, isn't it, though?
Load game. Yeah, there's a checkpoint right here, so...
It loads right back into the robot section.
Oh no, we've got a fucking loading screen now. Oh, okay. It's okay. Press any button to continue. Alright, we're here.
Oh boy. Wait, are we all the way back at the
Oh,
beginning?
no,
of
no,
the...
no, 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 that's... Oh, fuck! Shit! God damn it!
Oh,
No!
How
I
did Josh
can't
leave
believe
the
that's
room, but not me?
possible.
Josh is the
Okay.
idiot. I thought Camster was the idiot.
Welcome to Cycling the Airlock over and over. Season of spoiler warning.
What if it jammed? What if it jammed right now?
Oh my god.
I can't believe they even let you open the door!
I'm happy
To go
Catherine's
back,
around
like-
to see this right now.
Simon,
Yeah, really,
it's
she
30
would-
seconds later that I predicted. What's wrong? What happened?
Can you imagine all of eternity she would just spend talking, bringing this up every couple minutes?
So I have to wonder, inside of the Ark, do you think human brain processing is throttled to be real time, or do you think it's
Yeah, that's
Like-
something I was wondering too.
like, do you think the whole Ark experiences like a day and several seconds, or do you think it's throttled to be real time?
There was a little indicator back with the last human alive, where it said like simulation pause day 312. And given that like they probably started it not too long after they were doing the initial scans and putting it together, probably it seems like it would be
Have a seat.
like
oh, did you just
6
catch
months
Capper
to a year?
glossing over the fact that Simon obviously still has no idea what he's doing?
Okay, let's take a seat. You should be able to use the machines to load the bullets.
Again, this was another thing. I was like, no, Simon, you know what's going to happen here, right?
Well, especially because they do it like, if you're playing this game in one sitting or even two sittings, it happened like 3 hours ago. You just did this.
Yeah. Ah. Oh, right, this minigame.
Like, imagine a version of any Isaac Asimov story where the robots have to keep being explained to them what the rules of robotics are every 5 minutes.
Well, that's basically the experience of reading an Isaac Asimov short story compilation. Is this the laws of
Yeah.
robotics being explained to increasingly stunned sounding civilians for about 300 pages?
Increasingly stunned. I like the first guy's like, huh, and then by the end it's like, oh my god, no, that can't be!
Just hit the button and we're off.
It's just like, what? The robots, but what if they, could they just shoot a guy?
And tied them to a single switch. Just push the button and we're off.
Not transferring our minds.
We're copying our minds.
It's an amazing thing you did. And I want you to know I appreciate it.
Okay, Simon's dumbness aside, I love this ending. I thought the game ended just
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
this felt
it
like
ended too well.
This feels like the way a short story would end. You know, you do all this, and
Yeah.
then this is how it ends.
I do like how Catherine just uploaded herself first, even though she's already on the Ark.
Right, but she wants this version on there. Actually, she should
Right.
want both versions, and then they can like.
Yep, we made it! Yay! We're
And
on
he's
the
right.
ark!
They did make it. He is on the ark, but then there's this copy he left behind.
I'm still here. Catherine? Catherine?
I'm here.
What the hell happened? What went wrong?
Nothing. They're out there, among the stars. We're
See,
here.
I think to make the story work, she had to be here to say these things to Simon.
Right,
I
yeah.
think this conversation had to take place, and this moment is why Simon had to be a dumbass. And it's frustrating, but it also makes this ending work, I think. This would be less bad in a movie or a book where we weren't this character, where the game wasn't railroading us into being a dumbass.
We came all this way.
Well, or if this exact scenario didn't just happen and we just happened to win the coin flip. Like, I get why they think that works, because last time we won the coin flip, so maybe we wouldn't think about what happens when we lost. But the whole point of the last scenario is looking at that body that you used to have it and going, what if we did lose the coin flip? And then here you do.
Right.
Yeah. I think without that previous example, this ending becomes a lot stronger.
Yeah. I also like the... Also, this version of Simon could feasibly go hook up with the old version of Simon, which I think is an interesting... And the two of them could be
so
It's
robots.
like Catherine burned
Simon and
us,
Simon
and you're like,
and
what?
He's
But we
so
did end up on the
dumb.
ark? And you're like, no, we did end up on the
so-
ark. It was just
oh
a
my
copy or some
God.
bullshit.
Uh-oh.
I do like the idea that he goes and sees the other Simon, and then it becomes Simon and Simon, the adventures continue.
Catherine?
The adventures of the last two dipshits on Earth.
He's got two
The
diving
one-
suits, sunbathing on a beach.
And then there's the WoW. It's like the WoW is their like angry commissioner, and he's like, "Damn you, Simon and Simon! You're loose cannons. You're off the case." And they go to the surface.
Johan Ross is the comic relief character.
So
Just
here's
bumbles
the thing.
in. We gotta kill the
That's
WoW.
not
No, Johan, we don't have to do that
ending.
today.
That's
Right.
the first ending. I actually think that the game would have been a little bit stronger if it ended there.
I think I actually like the way it ended, that you got to see it after. Like, it would have been annoying if after playing the whole game it didn't have anything to show you for all your effort except the scene you could see coming a mile away. I think I really
Yeah.
like the happier version. I mean, if nothing else, it's been tantalizing you with what's the arc going to be like. Like, you had to choose what things go into it and upload people to it, and so yeah, I like that we got to see it, if even for a second.
I like it just because it confirms that it works, right? Because I think the idea
Yeah.
is so ridiculously out there. Just to know that it works is, I think, enough. You don't need to know what was their life like, how did they do things, what.
And
you know.
this
And
game
you
is
didn't
like
even know if they
so
just
incredibly
launched a brick.
depressing.
Right, and you needed to know that they didn't just launch a brick into space. That the whole
Yeah.
thing wasn't, because everything else in the station was broken. And I think the prevailing fan opinion would have been just, oh, that was all for nothing, and this was a big shoot the Shaggy Dog story.
Or the
And
WoW
the thing
fucked it
pro-
up and it's like some
Yeah.
horrible nightmare or something like that.
What the
Yeah, they're
hell
all
is
trapped in a
Shoot the
nightmare out
Shaggy
there.
Dog story? That sounds awful.
It's exactly
It's
what
a-
it sounds like, John.
It's
What?
the trope name of a story where a character struggles the whole time and then they die at the end for no reason and there's no like point to it. It's just a big, long, sad struggle. That's what it's called.
They shouldn't
Oh,
have
so,
showed
like,
you
the
how
road.
the copy thing works. I think that is the thing that I can't stop thinking about. The ending would have been a lot better if they never showed you how the copying thing works. Because then you could be like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh, damn it. Then that would make
You
more
mean
sense.
if they hadn't done like the initial transfer back in Omicron,
Like where they
where it was
Yes.
like actually
where they
a
put you in-
surprise?
Where they
Yeah,
change bodies.
That
They
might have
never
made
should have
it
done
stronger. Yeah.
that. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm just sitting
So
here
we
going,
didn't see
yeah,
this
you dumb
coming.
shit.
So-
Duh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
we
was
did
kind of
this
like, well,
already.
this is what's gonna happen, dude.
Anyway,
So the
I'll,
only thing I don't like. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
you go ahead with what you don't like.
Well, I was just going to say, the only thing I don't like about the epilogue is the personality test that's on the bridge that seems to cut the pacing of this down for no reason. Like, I like the epilogue, I like seeing how pretty it is, I like going up to Catherine, but then, like, there's this, like, exit survey, and it's kind of ridiculous. It does nothing, and it's just sort of there.
Please rate your purgatory.
I thought it was interesting as, like, it's a weird, like, point in the story to be stopping it so you can fill out a survey, but I thought it was interesting to see that, like, now that you're in the arc.
Isn't it a retread of a survey they did earlier in the game, too?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a repeat. It's a repeat. Now how do you feel about it? Sort of like, now that you've been through this adventure, how do you feel about it? Some people fault this game for being, I mean, this is not an advanced sci-fi story. This is a simple one. There was a lot of hand-holding, and Simon was a dumbass to explain everything, so that they could explain everything to the audience. Some people fault that because they're like, oh, we've been, this story has been done literally for 50 years. This is like remedial level sci-fi. But I can't hold that against it because we don't get much of this in video games. And
how long is it? Sorry.
Rather than condemn it for being a dumb for a short sci-fi story like the kind you used to read by the dozens every month in magazines, I'd rather praise it for being smart for a video game, because that's the medium it's working in, and we don't get enough smart video games.
That's where I fall with it overall. I mean, like, it is very, like, if you read sci-fi or if you're familiar with a lot of sci-fi, it's pretty by the books. I mean, the return of Futurama to Comedy Central basically had a plot like this. This is not, like, super edgy, edge-of-your-seat sci-fi, but it is smarter than most of what's out there, and it's got some really interesting themes, and as much as I mean, really, the game's biggest flaw is the attempt to be scary that doesn't quite work, but I enjoy this game.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. The thing that doesn't work most isn't dumbass Simon, which is only mildly annoying. It's the monster shtick that just grated and wasted time and kind of killed the pacing in a few places and kept you from getting information that would have made everything a little more comprehensible. So we don't need to take this survey. We already did. Let's just go on to the ending.
He hasn't taken the survey as this Simon.
Right.
This Simon has never taken the survey. And is
not true.
about
He did
5
take the
minutes
survey.
old.
No, but this Simon did take the survey back in the thing. He still has the memory of doing that.
Right. But the data, the information that composes this Simon only started existing about 5 minutes ago.
Shut the hell up. We've had this argument 5 times already, and it's a bullshit argument. It is super annoying. That entire argument exists because one person is thinking of the self as the brain, and the other person is arguing it's the hardware, and it's a question with no answer. And there's no reason to nitpick somebody over that point, except you want to start a bullshit argument.
File created on date, even if the file in question has all of the history from a previous file that's 20 years old.
Oh, damn it.
Here we go. I did it.
Catherine?
Asshole.
Good for you. I like the
doesn't look
sci-fi
like it would
future
actually
city, by the way.
So how do we get over... You know what's going to happen?
Catherine.
We're going to walk up and Catherine's looking at that city in the distance and she's like, all right, you're going to have to climb up to the top of the mountain and activate the power for the boat to get us across the river to get to the city.
And you just push her in.
No, this time you have to carry me.
I want to pretend that, like, Dark Souls is like 4,500 generations later in that same universe.
I also,
Dark Souls lore is actually compatible with that.
Wow, you know,
I also
look
really
at the Earth. Last time I played through this, just before this pans out of view, last time I was so fixated on the satellite, I didn't notice how screwed the Earth is. It's lava world. No, that's bad.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rutskarn.
It's just like, I really want to imagine that for the next infinity, Catherine has to listen to Simon talking about how he single-handedly saved the human race, and Catherine's just thinking to herself how many hours she spent working on this fucking thing, getting it designed and fixed,
and everybody else,
to
like,
agree.
Simon is more gregarious than Catherine, so everybody else is, like, totally on board
Simon's a hero, and he's like, she's like, what? It took him, like, what, 15 minutes?
So
You know,
usually,
Johan Ross is also on the Ark. That must be
oh
awkward.
my goodness, find that guy
Yeah,
and
you
punch
tried
him
to
right
murder
in the
me.
balls for eternity. Like every morning, punched in the balls for all eternity. You dick. So,
Other important thing to note: some
How
people
do you
see
have
this
the
ending
conversation
as like,
with somebody where you're like, the ghost version of you tried to kill me? Like, what? I'm sorry?
like I was a ghost. What are you talking about? The other interesting thing to point out is like some people see this ending as like, oh, humanity's going to go off into the cosmos and explore the stars, but like, it's a satellite. It's orbiting Earth. That's what it does. It doesn't look like it has a significant rocket booster or anything, and getting escape velocity from the sun is a lot, like, requires a lot more energy than a railgun is going to give you.
no, we do not have the Delta V to leave. I will say most games, when we play through it, it diminishes my appreciation for them. Like, I'm like, at the beginning of the season, I'm always like, I liked this game, it was pretty good, and by the end, we're all like, screw this game, I'm sick of it, and let's go kill the developers, you know? And this game is the opposite, where I was like, this was a nice game, and now that we've been through it together and all talked about it, and I saw the things I missed, and I saw different viewpoints on all the stuff in the game, like how you guys all interpreted things differently, it made me appreciate the game so much more. So I really, really like this game now. Like, I feel bad that I didn't give it a higher place on my best of list last year.
That's weird, because, like, I think the last time you had a reaction like that to a game was Deus Ex Human Revolution, and that was the first game I ever did with you guys, so it's been a while.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a while.
I feel about the same coming out of this as I did going into it. I really respect what the story tries to do. I think it has some key flaws, but for sort of an entry-level science fiction story, I really liked it.
Definitely could have done with not trying to copy the Amnesia DNA quite so closely, and not trying to stick to that.
Right.
Yeah, I
In
kind of
fact,
wish
I
they
would
found
just
some,
straight
like-
up. I will straight up recommend to anybody that's picking up the game late, just get the wuss mode mod. Like, really, unless you just really want to play tag with monsters, I think it's a genuine improvement on the game.
I wonder, like, I don't know. I wonder if there was a tone scariness they could have found that didn't involve hiding from monsters as in Amnesia.
And it's easy to say in hindsight that was a bad idea, but, like, it's important to remember that Frictional Games has only ever done Amnesia-style horror games. They cut their teeth on perfecting that formula. So to go from that and, like, say, nah, we're not going to have fucking monsters in this game at all, that would have probably been too far a step for them.
To their credit, this is their first game that is more of a narrative-driven science fiction piece. Everything else has been very horror/Lovecraft focused. So that's pretty impressive in and of
This is
itself.
still a little low. Yeah, it's still got the elements that they like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree. It's more sci-fi.
All right. So that was a pretty good
it's
season.
a cool video game.
Now, if you know, it'll be nice. This was a grim apocalypse, and we're gonna walk away from this one, and we're gonna have a completely different kind of apocalypse.
A Josh apocalypse.
Exactly,
that would be
a
the good
completely different kind of apocalypse. So, join us next season where we'll be playing the Apocalypse World role-playing game where everyone is playing the Marmot character class. I will be GMing the Marmot character class. Bye, guys.
Bye.